Hey, I'm Wild Bill with 98.1 TXT. I'm joined by Mitch Grissett. He is the head coach here at ACA, American Christian Academy. I love Americans. I love Christians. You gotta love ACA.
Oh, it's a great combination.
You gotta love ACA. We're on the field. Get a view of this field. Look, I mean, it's like Drew Bledsoe plays here. This is the new field, the new turf that you guys, I'll say the word entertain opponents, but ain't been much entertaining lately. Y'all have really turned it around, and you've won what, your last 6 games?
Last 6 games.
So you're 6-1 on the season. Lost the opening game, but you came in here right at the beginning of the season. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, there was a change that had to be made, and then I came in with about 15 practices before we play our first opponent.
15.
15.
That's crazy.
Before we play a number 7 ranked Pickens County, and so we were just flying around trying to get as much installed as we possibly could, and Pickens County was better prepared for us. But now things are falling in a good groove for us, and we're a 5-0 in region and 6-1 on the season.
You know, and you're one of the youngest coaches that we see. I'm told that the referees come out on the field and let me talk to the head coach, and they ask you, where's your head coach?
Oh, absolutely. They go and they start with the oldest guy that I'll have, that'll be around 50, and then they start working their way down, then they start pointing, and then they're like, now, surely you don't mean that guy.
Yeah.
And so,
but he's the guy.
Yeah.
He's the guy.
Eventually they come and find me.
You know, I think that so much in life can be learned from a young man playing football, and we're in the media, we're on the radio, we're always reporting the final score, and that's what you see in the paper. You know, that's what makes the headline, the bold headlines. But there's so much that can be learned from the game of football and applied to the game of life. And one thing that I have learned through football and through life is that there's one constant, and that is change. I mean, life continuously changes, and you guys came out of that adversity at the beginning of the season, and you got whipped right out of the gate, and now you have done some whipping basically since then, and that's got to be exciting.
Well, it is. Well, I mean, we always know, and it's a common thing, that life is going to bring about change and adversity. It's always about how you're going to bounce back. How are you going to prepare? How are you going to rebound from all that? And that's really what we focused on. We focused on ourselves and improving ourselves and gelling as a family. Yeah. And we've really bought into that. The seniors have bought into that. They've provided great leadership this year, and we're just really proud of improving every week of what we've done and what we've accomplished, because we have big goals this year. Yeah. And we're going to do everything we can to get there.
I love the fact that you guys are talking. You know, we go to the pep rally and you open with prayer and you talk about God, you talk about family, because God, family, and football is way up there. Don't get me wrong.
It is Alabama.
Yeah. I mean, but it's just great that you have that. I heard Coach Tom Osborne speak about 6 months ago. Great, one of the greatest, living Bear Bryant, if you remember, from Nebraska, and he talked about how that God, and he always coached his players that God sustains you. God is there in times of adversity. When things get tough, that's what you lean on, is God. And you guys do that same thing.
Well, God is the center of everything. And I think that our focus being on God and trying to glorify Him in the way that we play, that's what we teach here. I mean, it's what we teach as a school. It's what the parents are teaching at home, and that's what we teach on the football field. That without God, all this is meaningless. Yeah. And so we want to do everything that we can to give God the glory every day and every night. And so that's what we're really trying to instill in our kids.
It's great because, you know, there's the scoreboard. Look at the scoreboard. And behind the scoreboard, there is some scary woods when they kick extra points. I mean, the ball goes in some deep woods right out of the gate. And that's some scary woods I would like to point. I mean, I'd be like, I ain't getting that one, coach. But so there's probably 30 balls out there. But the point is, the scoreboard is what everybody looks at, and the score, I mean, 5-10 years from now, it isn't really going to matter. If you can affect a young man's life and he becomes a better father, a better husband, dude, those are the things that are long-lasting, are they not?
Absolutely. I mean, when you look at it, I don't remember a single score from high school.
Yeah.
But I remember the moments that I had. I remember the people that influenced me, and that's what we're trying to do with these kids. We hope that they look back and think of this as a great experience. We hope they look back and say, I learned something from the coaches, they love me, they care for me, and they provide the great direction that I could use in my life. And that's what we want to do. We want to build these kids and prepare them for a lifelong adventure and a time of, you know, how to be a good husband and how to carry on a job and to do well.
That is great. All right, let's talk a little bit about X's and O's.
All right.
Got to do that. I mean, because you're a football coach. I'm a football fanatic. You guys are so balanced offensively. I mean, we see weeks where that you have a running back that rushes for like 200 yards. And then the next week you have a quarterback that passes for 350 yards. That's got to be exciting as a football coach to have that balance on offense. Will help you in the playoffs. I'm sure that, you know, I know you can't get ahead of yourself, but that's got to be nice.
Well, we do coach from week to week, and whenever the coaches, and I'll say this, I have a great staff, and we come together on Saturdays and we put together a game plan according to our opponents and their weaknesses. And we look at that, and so one week it is going to be, let's rush at them for 250 yards.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be, hey, this team's not doing a very good job covering. And so let's throw the ball. But usually when you look at our stats at the end of the game, it is a balanced attack. We try to have run and pass because we feel like then it puts a lot of pressure on the defense to prepare for us.
No doubt. And ACA has always been that team that when everybody else is done, the game is over. ACA's at halftime. I mean, you guys like play 5-hour games sometimes.
I'm telling you.
I mean, am I lying? I mean, is that a true statement? I mean, it's like 11:30 in the game. ACA just scored a touchdown. You know, people around here can't sleep.
Yeah, we actually had a road game where they lost track of the clock, and they said that there was a minute 40. That's what the ref on my sideline said. There's a minute 40 left in the game. I said, all right, that sounds great. And they had 2 minutes on the game clock. And then the 2 minutes ran off. I said, well, isn't that the game? He said, well, Coach, we'll just go with what they put up there. And they put 15 minutes back on there. I said, well, we can't play 15 more
That's
minutes.
A quarter.
Oh, it's more than a quarter.
That's a quarter in college.
Yeah. So they put 15 minutes off. Put 15 minutes back on there, and then they ran 2 more minutes off of that. I said, it has to be time. I said, all right, Coach. And then they put 2 minutes on.
Were these soccer's official? You know, soccer officials do that. You know.
Well, I mean, the clock changed 4 times. We left this school that was pretty far away, and it was 10, 12 or so when we finished the game.
Yeah, and we found out later that official was related to Les Miles, by the way. Sorry, that was weak. That was weak. Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for what you guys do. ACA is BACK. That's what we're saying. ACA Patriot Football. We love the stadium, love the coach, and just love what you guys stand for.
We sure appreciate all
that.
that.
ACA, the 98TXT Team of the Week. Woo! Woo! Insert cheerleader sound effect here.